How's it going, people? I'm Sean. Let's talk AEW for 12/22/22. A couple of days before Christmas, and I think they call this show the Holiday Bash. Overall, above average show. I think the last part of the show really saved it. The segment before the main event was like bringing it up, and then the main event, which we'll talk about in a little bit, really pushed it over the edge as far as like an above average show. So, beginning of the show, you had Ricky Starks in the ring, kind of promo. Out comes the Jericho Appreciation Society, uh, Danny, Jericho. Uh, Jericho wants uh, Ricky to join the JS. Ricky insults him, says you used to be fat, now you're skinny. I appreciate you for that. It was just a barrage of insults or whatever. So the JS, they end up attacking Ricky Starks after he turns them down. And then you get into Jericho versus Ricky Starks. It's potentially good, but as we all know, Jericho, he kind of sucks the life out of the room sometimes. So we're going to see where that goes. Sorry, just a little bit of indigestion. Anyway, let's just stick with the Jericho stuff before we get into the other match. So backstage is Ashton Andretti. This is like later on in the show. Ashton Andretti, he's talking. He cuts a pretty decent promo about, winning, the crowd being behind him, and he knows that the Jericho Society is going to be gunning for him because he beat their leader. So out comes Daddy Magic and Cool Hand Luke. Um, they taught him, you're on fire, kid, and that's the key word for the wizard, Chris Jericho, to come in with the fireball and put it in Andretti's face. So the Jericho Society not done with Ash and Andretti, and they're leading into Ricky Starks. So they got their hands on a lot of pots in AEW. First match that I saw was the six-man tag, best of 7 one. Penta, Phoenix, Pac versus the Elite. The Elite end up winning with a Indie Taker onto a chair. This match was no disqualification. It was what you would think would be with the Elite and Del Triangle in a no disqualification match with the hammer being legal and everything like that. It was, if you've seen the Young Bucks and those kind of matches before, you pretty much saw it here. Not a bad match, but probably not something you haven't seen before, especially on television. All right, so moving past that one, I gotta just go to the notes that are online so I don't get confused or whatever. I was talking about the Ashton Andretti stuff. Oh, Daniel Bryan comes out and he's, talking about how William Regal changed his life, changed his style, made him into a better person, blah, 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 blah. Out comes Ethan Page after Daniel Bryan said he want MJF to come out because he's a coward. Ego says that Danielson is jumping the line. He's not going to jump over Ethan Page. Danielson calls Stokely bald-headed and something else or whatever. So, Stokely's response is, "You raggedy bitch." Pretty fun. Anyway, it sets up for next week. You're going to get all Ego Ethan Page versus Danielson on the. Would it be? No. It's the one before the next New Year. So that should be a pretty good match. I'm interested in that one myself. Moving past that, I didn't even see this one. It was Ezio Prime versus Hook. Okay. Yeah, I don't think anybody care about that match. I mean, Hook versus, I don't even know who this guy is. Ezio Prime. I'm just reading this right here. Apparently, it was a Samoa Joe promo. I was watching this on like a live stream, man. I didn't see this, but let me see. Samoa Joe cuts a promo with he has a special reward. He wishes them to have a marriage. That he's gonna have. I know. I'm pretty sure that was pretty good or whatever. So anyway, oh, John Moxley versus Darius Martin. Um, It wasn't bad. It just was. It I don't want to say anything bad about this, man, because for what it was good. But it's John Moxley is like sometimes it just works, but sometimes like I guess it depends on the opponent. This one against Darius Martin, it was just I don't know, man. He wins with the Death Rider. I think what it is, Moxley versus somebody who's trying to finesse and do all the cute stuff. It's just a solar. It's a complete polar opposite because the guy's gonna be doing all that flipping and running, some intricate moves, and Moxley just not gonna sell it. And if he sells it, it's only for a couple of seconds. Moxley needs to go up against huge, heavy hitters, like not literally, but figuratively. They need to knock his shit loose. And when people aren't doing that, and he's doing it, and he's not selling, oh man, it just hey, it is what it is. Uh, we went past that. Austin and Colton versus FTR, Ass Boys versus FTR. Um, I enjoyed it for what it was because you had FTR selling the injuries from the double dog collar match, probably match of the year, probably. I'm just saying. Um, you had them selling those injuries. Still wrestling great, but at the end, those injuries are what costed them the match because Dassey tries to go for the pile driver on not Colton, but Austin. He can't get him up because, the injuries to the lower leg, hip, blase, swaze, which allows Austin to roll him up and use his brother for like some kind of leverage and get a pin over on FTR. So I'm guessing what's going to happen here is FTR is going to lose all their titles, go back to recover. Guns are going to go on this super good run. And then when FTR comes back, fully rested, rejuvenated, fully healed, then you're going to get a feud again with FTR and the Guns. And hey, it's going to elevate the Guns. People are going to be wondering where the hell FTR is going to be something great. All good match. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the match. Moving past that one. Segment of the night. So it's Keith Lee, Swerve Strickland, face-to-face showdown. Starts off Tony Schiavone and Rick Ross in the center of the ring. They call out Keith Lee. Rick Ross grabs somebody. Tony Schiavone's in the corner. It's over with. Like Rick Ross has got it. He's like bringing out Keith Lee. We got business to handle. He tells Keith Lee, "You a big motherfucker." And then he was like, "We got a young legend coming out. A young legend. Don't rush the young legend. Swerve Strickland, a young legend." Swerve comes out, no music. He's like, "Look, Keith, I tried with you, bro. You want to do things on your way. You want to hold the rules, blah, X, Y, Z. I can't do it for you, bro. You got to have eyes in the back of your head." I thought he was gonna hit this line. I thought he was gonna say "watch it, bitch," just to like throw that in because of what happened with Mia Yim and Austin Theory, that whole controversy that people are blowing up about on Twitter about her being jumping on Austin Theory. Look, I'm not gonna get into that, but I thought he was gonna go there. I thought he was gonna be like, "Man, you gotta watch this, you gotta watch that." I thought he was gonna say, "Man, you really gotta watch your bitch, man." No disrespect. You gotta watch your girl. No disrespect. But instead he said you gotta have eyes in the back of your head, and Rick Ross is just there putting the eyes on the back of his head. You gotta watch him. I thought really Rick Ross was gonna hit Keith Lee and he was gonna have that celebrity type of thing going on, celebrity wrestling fight thing going on. But instead, out comes Parker Boudreaux, who was a part of the Trustbusters, but I guess now he's in the affiliates, nigga. If you know anything about Southern rap, you know where I get that from. The affiliates, nigga. Anyway, so and also when they do have a pay per view, I need that Pacific guy to be opening for them. Like anyway. So Parker tries to beat up Keith Lee. It doesn't work. Keith Lee clotheslines him over the top. Then Keith, he gets out of the ring to try to fight Swerve. He's stopped by a guy with like a whole face tattoo and like gold teeth and like I don't like a he's bald, but he got like one big ass ponytail. I've never seen that guy before. He might be on some like indie, like he might be on OVW or Booker T stuff, or I've never seen that guy before in my life. Anyway, he attacks Keith Lee, and then Parker joins in. They beat him up. They get him up on the steel steps. Keith Swerve takes a cinder block out of his bag he's carrying to the ring, puts it on Keith Lee's chest, and then hits the Swerve stomp from the top onto the. Look, I'm not gonna lie. When I saw him take the cinder block out, I was just like, okay, I know it's collapsible, but is he gonna twist his ankle? I really didn't have any, because like a center, think about even a fake center block. It's so much room for error in that I just thought the worst, but it ended up perfectly. He hit the center block stump, the center block disintegrated, and then Rick Ross is like Maybach Music and and the mobile affiliates are now linked or whatever. So the biggest boss is in AEW. Hey man, why not? It's the biggest boss that you've seen thus far. Um, this faction is weird, to say the least. Swerve and Parker Boudreaux. I'm just going visually. Like visually, not bad. The other guy, kind of jarring, but then again, they could just be the muscle. And we got other people that could get in. The Rick Ross stuff, weird still, but Rick Ross, he was pretty hilarious and entertaining on the mic. I'm like always, I'll give it a chance, but just Swerve, face tattoo guy, and Parker, it's a jarring visual, all three of them together. And these are Rick Ross in there. Is just like, where are they going with this fashion? Then you had the main event, Hikaru Shida versus Jamie Hayter. Watch this match. This match was the epitome of women's wrestling. I'm trying to think of some spots in here. Oh, like the last 5 minutes with the counter. I think Jamie Hayter tried to go for the Hayter Ray ripcord lariat. Shida hits the jumping knee into the Falcon Arrow. The only part of the match that kind of sucked was the Jamie Hayter stuff on the outside with her like slamming a car Shida into like into the guardrails and then stop. It was kind of Mox-esque. So that was the only bad part of the match. Toward the end of the match, who was it? Dr. Britt Baker tried to get involved. She gets taken out by Hikaru with the run up like kick, the corner run up kick, and then get hit with the kendo stick. They brawl for a little bit more, but it ends up Jamie Hayter hits the ripcord lariat for the win. And then after the match, Britt Baker and Rebel attack Hikaru Shida. Out comes Tony Storm. Tony Storm get hit in the back of the head by Hayter with the belt. And then out comes Paige. Paige knocks down Rebel. And then Thrust kicks Britt Baker. I'm not really going to talk about the stuff at the end of the match was whatever. It was some stuff to send people home. But the match itself, great match. Like I said, it was some top level women's wrestling stuff here. Fans are really behind both the women. Hikaru Shida, man, like I know like a lot of people aren't behind a lot of Japanese women wrestlers coming over and doing, wrestling here in America. But Hikaru Shida has the people. She has like the size, the wrestling skill. Her stuff doesn't look bad. Uh, she's a star. I mean, I personally didn't see it years ago, but I guess what do I know? Hikaru Shida, man, she's the real deal. Like it seems like anytime the big lights are on, Sheeta really delivers. Jamie Hayter, she's grown. She's been growing, but yeah, man, just an excellent man between two great women in wrestling. So anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. You tell me what you gotta think about the show. Thought about the show. Like, subscribe, blase, swaze, blah 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 blah. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.